Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's morning briefing. The IDF has now announced that they will demolish the home of the terrorist that murdered Ari Fuld on September 16th. Ari Fuld, a pro-Israel advocate and longtime freelance correspondent here at ILTV, left behind a wife and 4 children when he was stabbed to death by 17-year-old Khalil Youssef Ali Jabarin near a supermarket in Gush Etzion. Yet even then, despite his fatal injuries, Ari pulled out his handgun and shot the assailant before collapsing to the ground, preventing what would have been another stabbing during his final moments. Since Fuld's death, thousands of people around the world have come forward to salute his courage, and he even recently received a posthumous Medal of Valor from the Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan, who wrote that, quote, Ari demonstrated supreme heroism and fearlessness when in his final moments he chased after the terrorist who had fatally stabbed him, neutralized him, and in so doing saved the lives of other civilians, end quote. And as for the terrorist, Jabarin will remain in custody until the end of his trial and reportedly faces charges of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of possession of an unlicensed weapon. Israeli police conducted dozens of arrests Sunday night in East Jerusalem of Palestinian Authority civilian and security officials who are suspected of illegal operations in Israel. Among other conflicts of interest, all the suspects, 32 in total, have Israeli identification cards and also receive benefits from the State of Israel, which means they broke the law the moment they joined the Palestinian Authority security forces, an action specifically outlawed in the 1993 Oslo Accords. Police describe all the suspects as having engaged in activities directly affecting the personal safety of Israeli Arabs, and further, police confiscated thousands of shekels in cash, weapons and ammunition, uniforms, and various other documents from the suspects during their arrests and home searches. Finally, on similar charges, and for the 3rd time this month, the Palestinian Authority-appointed governor of Jerusalem, Adnan Reit, has also been arrested in Jerusalem. Reit is accused of again carrying out official PA activities within Israel, specifically that he allegedly aided in the arrest of Arab Jerusalemites who sold land to Jews and Israelis. Reit's first arrest followed the detention of American-Palestinian Essam Akel in October for reportedly selling his old city home to a Jewish organization. The Palestinian Authority's intelligence chief in Jerusalem, Jihad Fakeh, was also arrested in connection to Akel's arrest. Israeli officials, in the meantime, are continuing to put pressure on the Palestinian Authority to release Akel, who has been in detention for 6 weeks now. In yet another blow to Palestinian Authority-United States relations, USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, will reportedly be cutting its staff in the West Bank and Gaza by up to 60%. The humanitarian aid organization has been ordered by the State Department to provide a list for the layoffs by December in what's to be the first step towards shutting down in the Palestinian territories completely. The announcement comes a few months after President Trump cut aid to UNRWA as well by nearly $200 million. And in fact, around the same time, it was reported that USAID offices in the West Bank and Gaza had not yet received a budget for the coming fiscal year. Further, USAID officials have also recently confirmed that these latest cuts are additional attempts at forcing the Palestinian Authority into negotiations. But critics of the move, most notably J Street President Jeremy Ben-Ami, argue that the Trump administration has worked systematically to destroy the U.S. relationship with the Palestinians and to close off every point of contact with the Palestinian people, adding that this further ending of humanitarian aid is a, quote, cruel and dangerous act designed to promote the hardline agenda of the Israeli right, end quote. That and that any peace plan the administration presents after this would be an absolute sham. Regardless of the reasons, though, one thing is for sure, and that's that the loss of USAID in the Palestinian territories will be felt. USAID has spent billions of dollars on the Palestinian people since the Oslo Accords were signed, and they've helped in building schools and educational programs, offering healthcare, and accessing clean water. On Monday, the Conference of European Rabbis entered into an agreement with Israel's chief rabbinate regarding the recognition of conversions to Judaism. As part of the deal, the rabbinate will acknowledge conversions performed by the members of the Coalition of European Orthodox Rabbis, but in return, the coalition leaders have agreed to reject any Israeli conversions performed outside of Israel's rabbinate, aka by private conversion centers, regardless of how Orthodox they are. The agreement was confirmed by 700 European Orthodox rabbis, which includes chief rabbis in the UK and France, and the move will make it easier for Orthodox European converts that want to move to Israel. The conference president Pinchas Goldschmidt also reiterated how important it was to set standards within the faith to, quote, ensure that those who have already converted are able to travel freely throughout the Jewish world, end quote. But opponents point out again that this would only be true of ultra-Orthodox converts who go through the rabbinate. Any convert or children of converts who entered Judaism through an unrecognized Orthodox or unorthodox Judaism would be outcast. The Itim organization, which operates as the halakha of the private rabbinical courts, has thus already turned to Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit in a plea to stop the deal, arguing that the Rabbinate is making political deals to expand its power at the expense of the people. The Itim president added that his organization will fight this type of overreach, which anyway, quote, runs counter to Jewish law and disregards the needs of the Jewish people, end quote.
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.